Evening to you all. Thank you for joining us for the 10 o'clock edition of the UBC News Tonight. My name is Wadulo, Arnold Mark, and Yusuf Senyomo on sign language. Without further ado, let's get straight into our top story tonight. President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has urged religious leaders to change the way they interpret the Word of God, emphasizing more of the gospel that teaches people how to fight poverty. President Museveni delivered this message through his Vice President, retired Major Jessica Alupo, at the national prayer gathering that was held at Kololo Independence Grounds.
Born again, I've prayed for the nation as the country enters new political journey. Prayers at Kololo Independence Grounds were organized by the Generations Pastors Network, and the Vice President, retired Major Jessica Alupo, represented President Museveni. The faithful prayed for peace to prevail in the country, for God to have mercy on the leaders of this nation, starting from President Yoweri Museveni and his family, the judiciary to deliver judgments without fear or favor, for an end to corruption in government institutions, for security agencies to be compassionate while enforcing the law, and prayers for all those who have died in accidents.
That every Ugandan is hard-working to come out of poverty and to also add value to this country and their societies where they're living.
In his message delivered by his Vice President, retired Major Jessica Alupo, President Yoweri Museveni asked religious leaders to emphasize the gospel that teaches people how to fight poverty.
If we have spiritually seen the light, then we must do the same economically. We cannot see the spiritual light yet stay in economic darkness. Jesus Christ should serve as an example to all the religious leaders and their followers. He earned his living by working alongside his father Joseph as a carpenter. He worked for both the spiritual and socio-economic uplift of his family and society.
President Museveni notes that religious leaders have done a great job in the program of saving souls of Ugandans, and it is now time for them to learn how Jesus Christ used to preach the gospel, especially by addressing issues that affect the people.
Regardless of tribe, religion, political affiliation, etc., we advocate for East African and African cooperation and integration as a strategy for guaranteeing greater prosperity and security. Therefore, Christianity fosters unity and tolerance for one another, which are the precursors for development.
Pastor Mugisha Gifty say that born-again faithful have a plan to build schools and hospitals in different parts of the country so that they also contribute to national development.
Unity with all they want to come out of poverty. Pastors have said to me, they told me as for us,
this prayer gathering was also attended by faithful from Kenya, Rwanda, Congo, among other countries. Robert Katamba, reporting for UBC News in Kampala.
Thank you, Robert. In other news, the World Health Organization Regional Director for Africa, Professor Mohamed Yakub Janabi, and the Director General Africa Centers for Disease Control, Dr. Jean Kaseya, have held discussions with top government officials and Ministry of Health to assess how the joint Ebola response efforts can be sustained in the Democratic Republic of Congo. The delegation met with the Vice President Jessica Alupo and the top management from the Ministry of Health, led by Health Minister Dr. Chris Bariomosi.
A high-level delegation from World Health Organization and Africa Centers for Disease Control has commended government for containing the imported Ebola outbreak.
So once again, let me take the opportunity on behalf of WHO to thank the transparency, openness, and cooperation during the outbreak when it was active in Uganda from the imported cases from DRC.
We are the witnesses of your success. And the success is not just to control the outbreak, but also the innovative way that Uganda managed to control the outbreak.
The delegation met with the Vice President, Jessica Alupo, and discussed a coordinated regional action in containing disease outbreaks.
Uganda has therefore adopted a principle that our health security is inseparable from that of our neighbors, supporting the Democratic Republic of Congo to contain this epidemic, and at its source is not only an act of solidarity, it is actually a strategic investment in the health security and economic stability of the entire region.
The Minister for Health, Dr. Chris Barrio-Munsi, pledged government's support to DRC to contain the Ebola outbreak.
Earlier on, we had signed a memorandum of understanding between Uganda and DRC, where we are handling this outbreak jointly. And to this end, we have so far sent 58 of our professionals, the specialists, to beef up the team in the DRC. We have established treatment centers in Aru. Aru is the other side of Arua, and Kasenyi the other side of Ntoroko, Erekalbat. So that's where our teams are. So our teams are in Congo supporting our counterparts there.
The visit by the World Health Organization Regional Director for Africa, Professor Muhammad Yakub Janabi, and the Director General, Africa Centers for Disease Control, Dr. Jean Kaseya, said Uganda is part of the joint efforts to promote health security and resilient health systems in Africa.
And in more news, the government of Uganda has written to the United States of America seeking a waiver on the travel ban to enable its endorsed candidate for the position of United Nations Secretary General, Dr. Olara Otunu, to travel while canvassing for support from relevant member states. The travel ban was imposed by the United States following the Ebola outbreak that had been reported in Uganda. Uganda's Ministry of Health declared Uganda Ebola-free. However, the World Health Organization's mandatory days are yet to elapse.
Uganda is among the 3 countries affected by the travel restrictions imposed by the United States after declaring the presence of Ebola. The other countries are South Sudan and Democratic Republic of Congo. Recently, the Ministry of Health declared Uganda Ebola-free, leading to the lifting of all Ebola-related standard operating procedures. However, following the government's endorsement of Dr. Olara Otunu for the position of United Nations Secretary General, the candidate's international campaign has been affected by the U.S. travel ban.
That is where we are. The rest of the candidates are in New York or their various capitals. They have been canvassing and campaigning for a long time. We hope very soon, when the waivers come through, we'll begin with New York. That is where the action is, the seat of the United Nations.
The government of Uganda has officially written to the U.S. requesting a waiver to allow the endorsed candidate to meet relevant stakeholders and member states as part of his campaign. The U.S. is yet to respond to the request.
To cool our heels here, discussing with Washington and petitioning for a waiver to make it possible for us to leave Kampala and go to the U.S. I think we are very close to getting a positive answer, and I want to thank the government of the United States.
The government has appointed former Prime Minister Dr. Ruhakana Rugunda to lead the delegation, tasked with lobbying for international support for Uganda's endorsed candidate, Dr. Urara Otunu.
Ruhakana Rugunda, who is well known to you, and is going to take the lead in the mobilization for support for our candidate.
The United Nations was often paralyzed by the election and the controversies about getting new Secretary Generals. Urara Otunu, as President, developed innovatively the position of having a straw ballot in a manner that the balloting would start early until there was consensus. He's the expert on it, and I'm glad we have the innovator.
Uganda's permanent representative to the United Nations, Adoni Ayebale, has also joined the campaign to rally support for Uganda's bid to secure the position of United Nations Secretary General.
That we are ready to receive you. My team is ready to receive you and facilitate you to do your campaign for UN Secretary General. Let me say that we really have an experience of winning.
Dr. Urara Otunu presented his manifesto highlighting his extensive international experience, which he believes positions him competitively against other candidates in the race.
His courage straw balloting is what Urara Otunu designed in December 1981. It worked. It produced Perez de Cuellar, Secretary General Perez de Cuellar, and since that time, the Security Council has used it for the election of every Secretary General, including this season's election. So that is the so-called Otunu formula. It bears the name of one of you.
Dr. Otunu promises to focus on strengthening the influence of the United Nations and reviewing its approaches to resource mobilization.
I put out a sketch which I have called Outline of Agenda for the United Nations. That is, even though the UN is now occupied with a number of issues across the board, the most important single mandate for the United Nations remains the issue of peace and security.
Abdunasele Lubwama for UBC.
And in more news, the Works and Transport Minister Fred Byamukama has directed the contractors of the Chaliwajala, Kira, Kasangati, Matuga Road to accelerate the construction works, which have stalled for 2 years now. The minister issued this directive during an inspection of the ongoing works after public outcry, ordering them to complete the project by July next year. The construction of the 23-kilometer Chaliwajala, Kira, Kasangati, Matuga Road was launched by President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni in the year 2020, and the project was awarded to Chongqing International Construction Company, acronymed as SICO, and was initially scheduled for completion in 2024. However, the project is currently at about 40% completion. Let's take a look.
Construction of the 23-kilometer Chaliwajala, Kira, Kasangati and Matuga Road was launched by President Museveni in 2020. The project, awarded to Chongqing International Corporation, was initially scheduled for completion in 2024. However, the project is currently at about 40% completion. The slow pace of construction and concerns raised by residents prompted Minister Fred Byamukama, accompanied by officials from the Ministry of Works, to inspect the project. Minister Byamukama gave the contractors 4 months to execute the project, warning that there will be no extension of the contract.
And this project, the contract was given 2021 up 2024. By the end of 2024, they were not even in a quarter of the project, of the works done. So they were added more 2 years, 2 to 3 years, to end in 2027, next year in July. But as we speak now, we are remaining with less than a year. They have not even reached 50%.
During the inspection, the minister ordered the contractor to carry out continuous watering of the road to suppress dust.
Minister, they said that
we can't sit and watch.
Delays to give them money. That's why they also
they are telling lies. Do we delay to give you money? Water the road. You get?
Yes.
Why do you wait for me to come? Now here, have you watered? You see.
It's so dry. It's
Have
dry.
you watered?
No, we watered, but it's dry.
When did you water here?
You said before we come, we water.
We give you these projects for you to make money. But you cannot make money when our government is being abused.
Yeah.
The government which is giving you money.
Yeah, we appreciate that.
People are abusing, yes. These are our people.
The minister said he will return in 2 months to monitor progress and ensure the contractor complies with the directives issued during the inspection. Honorable Byamukama also addressed the compensation challenges affecting the project.
No extension of this contract. They should finish within the time which is available. So for our people, they shouldn't lie you, government doesn't have money, government has money, but only money is being misused by our own people. But now I'm here, I'm to ensure they compensate everyone with the money we have. We give it a priority.
He was concerned that some individuals who had already received the compensation still occupy wetland areas, while criticizing ministry officials for awarding contracts before securing the required right of way.
These people of the former UNRWA owned houses, so they wanted to pay for their own houses before the merger comes in. I'm going to verify that. Another matter which has come about, it has been the mistake of signing a contract when there's no right of way. They send a contract back to the contractor when they didn't have right of way, but I've sorted all of this.
Wakiso District Woman Member of Parliament, Honorable Betty Ethel Naruima, welcomed the minister's inspection, saying regular monitoring of government projects would help speed up completion.
We had given up from Chali Wajala, Chiraka Sangati to Matuga. Now our inquiry, the way you've left, having instructed our contractors to ensure that they're able to water this road continuously. The borders, look at their jackets, look at how they are appearing. They are in dust every time. So when can we have that hope?
The contractors assured the minister that all the directives would be implemented to meet the completion deadline.
But we are going to work closely with Minister of Works and local government, okay, to improve and to speed up the progress.
The Chaliwajala Kasangati Chiramatuga Road project is valued at approximately 221 billion shillings. Amwae Vanjuko for UBC.
And moving on, from tracking suspects to detecting explosives and narcotics, police dogs are playing an important role in the fight against crime. But their success depends not only on training, but also how quickly crimes are reported and scenes preserved. As Ivan Kawa reports, dogs have proved to be more effective in rural areas than urban areas. Let's take a look at the details.
The Uganda Police Force Canine Department is a specialized unit that provides free canine law enforcement services across the country, operating 24 hours a day. The trained police dogs help track suspects, detect explosives and narcotics, support crime investigations, and assist in search and rescue operations.
We assure the people, I have been here before, you know, and I will say it again, that police dog services are free of charge. If anybody asks for money to bring a dog to a crime scene, that one has already committed a crime.
The Canine Department has continued to expand its nationwide coverage through breeding programs and the training of more dogs and handlers at Nagarama in Mukono district. As of 2026, the unit operates 127 canine deployment units across the country, providing rapid response and specialized canine services.
We have moved from about 10 units, more than 600% growth. This has really helped our operations.
In 2025, police dogs were deployed in 20,978 cases, leading to the arrest of 14,695 men and 1,212 women. The operations also resulted in the recovery of 7,262 exhibits, while 6,033 suspects were taken to court.
So you can see that we have really massively deployed throughout the country.
The canine teams also supported explosive and narcotics detection, responding to 173 abandoned items, 163 suspicious flights, 4,770 suspicious cargo inspections, and conducting 1,094 security sweeps.
For us, our deployments really we see the areas where the crime seems to be high. At times we deploy in areas and we find the crime was very high and the crime rate goes down. So it's like a moving target.
According to Dr. Martin Mugume, the canine services have extremely performed very well in rural areas compared to urban areas. And the reasons are that in urban areas you find that the population is high and the chances of compromising or contaminating the crime scenes is much more higher than the chances of contaminating crime scenes in rural areas.
Before you know, a crime takes place maybe in the night, and before you know, early morning, people are going to the markets and school children, people walking on foot, and they contaminate scenes of crime. And that's what we usually tell people, that don't wait for the morning.
Now, the most important aspect is to ensure that you report the cases as fast as possible to the Uganda Police Force. And once you do this, it enables the canine or the sniffer dogs to effectively perform their tasks in a form of aiding investigations where the crimes have really happened.
You are going to report the station, but it's not you to determine whether the police dog is used or not. It's at the discretion of the investigating officer to examine the circumstances of the crime and determine that this crime scene needs the support of a canine during investigations. But it's not you. Others, they even wake up in the morning, he finds his vehicle vandalized, one side mirror was removed, and he drives the same vehicle to the police and says, I have come to pick a police dog.
The Uganda Police Force currently has approximately 200 trained canine dogs deployed across the country and plans to expand the capacity by ensuring that at least 2 sniffer dogs are deployed at every police station.
Thank you very much, Ivan Kaur, for that beautiful piece. In other news, Mukono Municipality has recognized landlords who voluntarily offered land for the implementation of the Greater Kampala Metropolitan Area Urban Development Program, acronymed as GMA-UDP. This recognition was led by the Council's Community Development Department during an appreciation and feedback meeting that brought together project-affected persons, municipal officials, and representatives from the Ministry of Kampala and Metropolitan Affairs.
World Bank supported the Ministry of Kampala and Metropolitan Affairs to implement the Ugandan shillings 460 billion Greater Kampala Metropolitan Area Urban Development Program to improve roads and markets in Kampala, Mukono, Wakiso and Mpigi districts, Kira, Entebbe, Mukono, Nansana and Machinde Sawagawa municipalities.
If there are any issues in relation to the project as we move towards the closure that they feel that we should address before we fully exit.
In Mukono district, landlords who voluntarily surrendered portions of their land to pave way for the project were recognized for their contribution. Mukono Municipal Town Clerk Francis Byabagambi says works under Lot 2 have covered 8.68 kilometers, while construction under Lot 3 is now at 82%.
I am glad to inform you that Lot 2, which is the road that comes from Mukono districts to the cathedral to Kame, and then another spur to Nabuti, that road is now substantially completed. We are really very happy with the contractors that they have managed to complete this road. And I do believe that for most of you who have used the road, you have really found that the workmanship has really been very good.
The president of the Mukono Municipal Metropolitan Development Forum, Julius Mukwaya, commended the cooperation demonstrated through the project and urged the residents to safeguard the upgraded roads and market infrastructure.
We have appreciated those people who allowed us to extend the roads
when we had to encroach on their pieces of land. It has been good. There has been cooperation. People have worked together, and because of that unity, we have performed so well, and we are in time. I am happy to pronounce that of all the municipalities that are involved in this activity, Mukono Municipal Council has been ranked the best.
The landlords and residents appreciated the municipal leadership and the government for the infrastructure to improve transport, trade and service delivery.
When you travel down from the market, going upwards to the cathedral, you find that that road was so slippery, especially when it rained. But right now, you drive safely, lights are on all night, people are moving anytime without fear.
What we can see is different from the past. We are seeing a new Mukono, a developed one, and a beautiful one, a beautiful Mukono, which we needed long time ago, but now time has come, we are having it.
Taking you to court, the Speaker of Parliament, Jacob Maxon Oboth, has met with the Ambassador of South Sudan to Uganda, His Excellency Paul Malong Akaro, to discuss stronger ties between the two parliaments.
Yes, karibu. Hello.
The Speaker of Parliament, Jacob Maxon Oboth, has received the Ambassador of South Sudan to Uganda, His Excellency Paul Malong Akaro, at Parliament in Kampala. Their discussions focused on strengthening parliamentary cooperation between Uganda and South Sudan. The Speaker reaffirmed Parliament of Uganda's commitment to support its South Sudanese counterpart through institutional partnerships, capacity building, training and parliamentary exchange programs. The meeting reaffirmed the two countries' shared commitment to deepening bilateral relations through parliamentary diplomacy.
There is actually fundamental issues as such, but we are in the process of trying to have a meeting between the two countries to discuss a number of issues that touch bilateral issues as well as trade. You know, South Sudan is one of the biggest trading partner of Uganda, and when the time comes, we will be able to discuss issues to do with trade and other issues which are important between the two countries.
In a related development, the Speaker also hosted City Pastor Aloysius Bujingo, who paid a courtesy call to his office at Parliament. Pastor Bujingo said the visit was aimed at praying for and anointing the new leadership of Parliament for quality service delivery.
This Parliament has something unique, that it has a Speaker who was divinely chosen. Divinely chosen when you see how he was endorsed by General MK, by His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, by how he was voted by his colleagues. You see that it was a divine appointment, and whenever there is a divine appointment, expect no mistakes. So there will be human error mistakes, but things are going to be better than before. Accountability, I think it's going to be well. I've seen the leader of opposition. He has not started pulling ropes, and I believe if they continue in unity, all the caucuses, all the committees will work for the good of all of us Ugandans.
You have a brother in the Ugandan parliament.
Dorcas Kimono, UBC News.
A deepening, a long-lasting relationship with you.
As I earlier mentioned, taking you to court, prosecution has asked Judge Alex Ajiji to impose a death penalty on the 9 people convicted of murdering accountant Susan Magara. The prosecution argues that the convicts acted with a common intention and committed the murder in particularly a brutal manner. Meanwhile, the same court has found 2 men guilty of murdering a boda boda rider, Derek Mwonge, using a hammer. Our court reporter Deborah Namamonde and Viola have the details.
The 9 convicts in the murder of accountant Susan Magara, Abuvumbo Musa Abbas, Yakobu Biensi, Nakandi Hajara, Chewali Abubeka, Yusuf Lubega, Waswa Hussein, Kato Hassan Miro and Salim Muzamil. Following their conviction, the prosecution asked court to sentence all the 9 to death.
This is one of the gravest forms of kidnapping and murder. The offences were premeditated, organized, financially motivated, and executed by extraordinary cruelty.
Prosecution also highlighted the pain the family of the late Susan Magara is going through since the demise of their daughter.
We submit that the offenders deliberately targeted and caused the death of a vulnerable victim. Vulnerable in the sense that she was driving alone when she was kidnapped. She was detained for 3 weeks.
Prosecution also played to court to confiscate all the property believed to have been acquired through the proceeds of crime.
Their conduct before, during, and after clearly qualifies them for the maximum sentence of death. This is the Toyota Carina registration UAK 140U.
However, defense lawyer Kumboga Richard opposed the prosecution's requests.
You never know, these young children they live behind them, they easily be in the street. Level of participation should be constant.
Citing biblical principles against taking life, defense appealed to court to impose a lighter sentence. Prosecution, however, maintained that the gravity of the offense warrants the maximum punishment provided by the law.
As a nation, we benefit nothing from a death sentence. One person died, more than died.
It speaks a lot. It speaks to the common purpose, which was raising funds to help their Muslim brothers and sisters.
Judge Alex Ajij reserved his sentence to Wednesday, August 50, 2026. Meanwhile, the same court will deliver its judgment in the murder case of Derek Muwonge, a boda rider, the case against John Bosco Mogisha and Tamale Aloysius, alias Young Mulo. The two accused of murdering a boda rider, Derek Muwonge, as seen on a CCTV camera, hamming Muwonge on the head around Machindi Kanisa zone. In the last court sitting, court assessors asked court to convict all the accused persons. Deborah Namamonde, Aisha Msanya, UBC News.
And still matters legal. The Uganda Law Society is demanding answers over the disappearance of political activist Sam Mugumya. A delegation led by the Society's Vice President Anthony Asimwe today visited Mugumya's mother, Edinansi Katungwesi, at her home in Rukunjiri district after a video highlighting her son's disappearance circulated widely on social media. According to the family, Mugumya has been missing since July 26, 2025, and they have not received any official communication regarding his whereabouts. For now, Mugumya's family says that it continues to wait in hope for information about his whereabouts.
And taken by military men drone. We know colleagues colleagues had filed a habeas corpus application, which yielded no results. But now that we recently saw a faint video of Sam Mugumya in a very terrible state emerging, which she also saw, she got hope that probably she could begin looking for her son again. So this is a call to all those who are responsible to respect the rule of law, to respect dignity, and also to release Sam Mugumya and follow due process. If he's charged with an offense, or if he's being suspected to have committed an offense, let him be produced in court and answer the charges.
The issue has been brought here before, and I recall the speaker, the right honorable speaker, was in the chair at that time, stated that this is a very serious matter and it required a special session for the entire House to debate this issue. And that's where it stands today.
So we have to find out where, because he called them missing.
Oh, okay.
Since they are missing, we are going to look for them and then come back.
And that's it for today. Till the next episode.
Like a daily bando, like a daily bando, like a daily bando. Omuliro nguwulira muli mu mutima kukankana like drums. Kalakata, kalakata, enendungu ya kusabula. Mikono juu, free of fire, free of fire, free of fire.
What if accessing government services became easier, faster, and closer to you? Introducing Service Uganda Centers, a new initiative designed to bring key government services closer to the people under one convenient location. Less movement from office to office, less unnecessary travel, better access to services and information. At the Service Uganda Centers, citizens will be able to access national ID services, passport processing, business registration, land and revenue services, and more, all in one convenient location. Whether you are in the city or up country, Service Uganda Centers are being designed with you in mind. Enjoy faster service, professional guidance, and a seamless customer experience. This is an initiative of the Government of Uganda, digitally powered by the National Information Technology Authority Uganda, NITA, under the Uganda Digital Acceleration Project Government Network. Service Uganda Centers, bringing services closer to the people.
We don't need anyone's permission to move forward. What we need is the power to do it our way. Spiro is not your typical EV company. It's the power grid for African ambition. A network that connects Nairobi to Kigali, Lagos to Lomé, Dar to Kampala. Not with cables and wires, but with clean, quiet, relentless movement. This is Africa, powered by us.
Back to still watching the UBC News, broadcasting live from Nile Avenue. Timber and furniture business dealers in Barara City are counting losses following a fire outbreak in the wee hours of Tuesday along the Victor Buana Road. The fire destroyed timber and furniture worth millions of shillings. Among the property were beds, chairs, carpet.
Samson Kasasira, the Rizi Regional Police spokesperson, says the fire started at around 2:50 a.m. but was reported to the police at around 3:14 a.m. and by the time fire and rescue unit and other private helpers arrived at the scene, there was largely heavy damages of both property and structures.
I have not established what the cause of fire is, but what we have on ground is that we haven't registered any injuries. The only problem that we have got is the damage on property, the property that has been destroyed, and of course some structures up on Mackenzie Street.
Kasasira says that outbreak of the fire is usually caused by poor electric wiring, but also in a rare case, some people may start it, noting that the cause of this one will be investigated.
Investigation is going to be carried out. But right now, the major focus is put on seeing that the fire is totally put out, and property that can be used and that will need to be discarded, that will be done.
Bembarara City Mayor Robert Mugabe Kachebezi says traders had failed to obey the regulations set by the city leadership, noting that the fire is a learning process.
Bagenderaho amateka gukanso era abahereze kugira ngo abashubuzi bitu bazeyo babase kubantu bakora konka right nawe tajangu nitubantu enda ngogwa za konka ntumango mutawuni buri omwe naba aryo mutawuni kubasa kweyi konka ikintu kibaho umuriro nugubaho nakatare nikasi.
Betty Nwagaba, a trader who has lost 3 stores of timber, says they were called in the middle of the night after the fire outbreak but couldn't rescue anything because the fire flames were very hot and the police have not helped them. Apollo Tuinomujuni says that they don't know where the fire started from and the efforts to rescue some properties were futile and has lost properties worth 35 million shillings. This is the second time fire is destroying timber and furniture market along Victor Abwana Road in Mbarara City.
National Vice Chairman of NRM Alhaji Moses Chigongo has called upon Ugandans to emphasize unity, discipline and hard work as the Center for National Development. He was at Victoria Nile Primary School officiating at the capacity building engagement for Busoga Musevenomic Media Team organized by the Senior Presidential Advisor JJ Bakalikwira. Chigongo tasked the elected chairperson to promote security and link the Wananchi with government programs.
Muhindo urged candidates to conduct issue-based campaigns, respect party guidelines and accept election results peacefully. She noted that leadership is about serving communities and called on voters to choose leaders of integrity and good character.
The leader is the one to show you the path, but don't choose these leaders who are selfish. If they bribe you, someone bribing you means doesn't know what to do. But a person who knows what to do will not bribe you. And for you have to see, you are nobody forces you. You can just look at the leader.
When we started the work of domesticating the Musevenomics concept, the curve within the performance of the NRM has increased. One, there has been appreciation that there is need to work in harmony for development. We find that now work so far, and we are hopeful that now in these 5 years, because now we are at the planning phase. We are at the planning phase, but the force which will take forward the desires of President Yoweri Museveni, particularly in this is called to Ekisanja No Sleep, corrupt-free Uganda. It is this Museveni concept which is going to change the narrative.
Observation is very good. What we need to do is lift that observation from the laboratory of the Dr. Mudulis of this world into the people, so that we now, by anchoring the correct ideology, that is it, and to be done.
Tushobora kwerana oli alizo kuga hati oyena wa movement boba movement mu babu tugambe ku kino kugamba ko kulongoza movement yafu ekyo sikyabulabe omuntu nga onaye nkwagala nnyo olwa movement naye kino na kino kyafu kyokola olina okweddamu.
Residents of the Rwenzori region have been urged to embrace peace, unity and discipline as the National Resistance Movement prepares to elect women council and LC2 leaders.
Muhindo urged candidates to conduct issue-based campaigns, respect party guidelines and accept election results peacefully. She noted that leadership is about serving communities and called on voters to choose leaders of integrity and good character.
The leader is the one to show you the path, but don't choose these leaders who are selfish. If they bribe you, someone bribing you means doesn't know what to do. But a person who knows what to do will not bribe you. And for you have to see, you are nobody forces you. You can just look at the leader and see the leader who's going to lead you. And these elections, they are just opportunity. Strengthen our party and serve the community with integrity.
She also appealed to party members to remain united before, during and after the elections, emphasizing that political competition should not divide families and communities.
Elections, sometimes you can get some issues, but when the elections are over, you go with the leader, the NRM leader whom you would have selected is the best for you. We forget all the past, we forget all the differences, and we work together because we need each other. The elections are ever, we are just like a family. Together, let's make these women councils and the LOCs a model of democracy. Discipline, unity in the Rwenzori region. Because if we don't work together, if we are not united, we cannot progress. It is through unity that you can progress. And when you are united, you will.
Muhindo further asked election officials to ensure a free, transparent and credible exercise that reflects the democratic values of the NRM.
Without unity, you cannot develop. So I would like to appeal to the people of Uganda, I mean the people of Rwenzori. We forget all our differences, we forget the past, we are united in the NRM. When you are in NRM, you become brothers and sisters. Wherever you meet your fellow NRM, you become one. So let's work together, make sure that as people of one party, people of NRM, we follow all these 10 points program that the NRM brought us.
The NRM Women Council and LC2 elections are expected to attract thousands of party members across the Rwenzori region as the party continues preparations for its internal electoral roadmap. For UBC News, I am Sudat Kaye.
The National Water and Sewerage Corporation has ushered in a new board chairperson, Professor Engineer Henry Mwanaki Alinaitwe, to succeed Engineer Badru Kigundu after 6 years of service. The corporation says its priority is to expand water production, improve aging infrastructure, and also enhance service delivery.
Managing Director Engineer Dr. Silva Mugisha praised the outgoing board for overseeing significant institutional growth, but said demand for clean water continues to exceed production capacity, particularly in Gulu, Mbale, Wakiso, Lira, and Kakumiro.
And over time, demand has increased, and we've not had commensurate enhancement of water production facilities, and this has now created a supply deficit. We have water production systems, but they are not able to produce enough to meet the demand which has increased. Now, what we have done, we have enhanced our budget. We have enhanced our budget with the increased payment of debts from government now. We have increased our budget. That's why we are going to do a water production plant in Guru, rather in Kitugum, because the boreholes can no longer meet the demand now.
Dr. Mugisha also cited delayed payment of water bills by some government institutions as a challenge affecting service delivery.
We have increased water production in Rira, for the short time, because we are going to have a long-term project, because the existing Kachung water treatment plant could not meet the demand. And so on and so forth. I can enumerate so many of them. And what is in the middle of everything here is resources. We need resources. I'm happy that the government is much more positive as far as payment of domestic areas is concerned. And we should be able to engage government much more so that we can have this problem solved once and for all. Kampala is the same thing.
Outgoing board chairperson Engineer Badru Chegundu highlighted expansion of water and sewage services and improved revenue collection during his tenure. Professor Alini Tue pledged strategic leadership and stronger oversight to improve performance and customer satisfaction. For UBC News, I am Sudat Kaye.
The German Corporation for International Cooperation, GIZ, has pledged to support Uganda's fishing sector, particularly aquaculture, in order to sustain fish production and supply. The acting GIZ Uganda country director, Miriam Fernando, points out that the aim is to support the fishing sector to generate more incomes and jobs.
The Minister of State for Fisheries, Robert Migade, spent the rest of the day with officials from GIZ. Top on agenda was how development partners like GIZ can support Uganda's fisheries sector to sustain production, access more international markets, and create more jobs, especially for young people.
Fisheries aquaculture is a costly venture in terms of initial setup. It is not like capture fisheries. When you get a small boat of 1 million, you can actually start fishing. This is not the case for aquaculture. You have to dig a pond, you have to bring in fingerlings, but also when you are digging in the pond, you have to get best advice that really where
Fisheries, Robert Migade, spent the rest of the day with officials from GIZ. Top on agenda was how development partners like GIZ can support Uganda's fisheries sector to sustain production, access more international markets, and create more jobs, especially for young people.
Fisheries aquaculture is a costly venture in terms of initial setup. It is not like capture fisheries. When you get a small boat of 1 million, you can actually start fishing. This is not the case for aquaculture. You have to dig a pond, you have to bring in fingerlings, but also when you are digging in the pond, you have to get best advice that really where you're establishing this pond, indeed the water will flow. Otherwise, your fish, you may put in fish which will be stunted after overfeeding for 8 months, and you will not get the desired, which is not the case like for capture fishes. So really, this one calls for a lot of sensitization, capacity building.
GIZ pledged to support the fisheries sector to sustain fish production.
Especially now with Uganda having access to EU markets, with regards to aquaculture, we also see now huge potential, and I think also this is why the ministry is getting more involved. So there are large enterprises and large industries within that, but for us it is how can the small-scale farmers, first of all, increase their production enough to actually have a surplus. I do want to say access to markets, but for us food security is also still a core.
Uganda Fish Processors and Exporters Association commended the government for working with development partners like GIZ to support the fisheries sector.
We're looking at the cooperation that we have had with the GIZ before, and we are building on that. Mainly we are looking at areas of policy and a conducive environment, areas of sustainable aquaculture cooperation and development, looking at areas of environmental management and sustainable utilization of resources, fisheries resources, mainly the Nile perch, tilapia and the other small pelagics, but also the areas of quality infrastructure for safe food on the markets for our consumers.
And with that, let's take a short commercial break. When we return, we'll be back with business.
Step into elegance, step into confidence, step into La Vie Boutique. Located at Grand Imperial Hotel, Shop 6 and 8, right behind Bank of Uganda, La Vie Boutique brings you high-class corporate and casual wear for men. From sharp designer suits and crisp shirts to stylish casual t-shirts, tracksuits, shoes and accessories, we've got everything to make you stand out. Call us on 0772 419 181 or 0705 555 558. La Vie Boutique, where class meets style.
The Uganda People's Defense Forces invites you to the second edition of the UPDF-CDF Inter-Forces Drill Competition. Join us on Tuesday, 25th August 2026 at the Kololo Ceremonial Grounds for an electrifying showcase of precision drill, synchronized formations, discipline, and military excellence. Under the theme Precision, Discipline, and Cohesion, Pillars of National Resilience and Transformation. Witness UPDF formations battle for the coveted Inter-Forces Drill Championship. Who will take the crown? Will it be the Land Forces, Air Force, Special Forces Command, Field Artillery, Motorized Infantry, Marines Brigade, Directorate of Women Affairs, Military Police, or one of the 1st to 5th divisions? The event will be presided over by the Chief of Defense Forces, General Muhoozi Kainerugaba. For more information, call 0392 947 455.
MTN voice bundle. Load. Hey. Hello, Mama. Hey, it is me, your son, Opio. Hey, now, Mama, listen to me. MTN has the offer. Yes, it has the offer. You load from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. Now, they have free MTN to MTN minutes. And those minutes are there all day. So you load, you'll thank me later. Mama.
Load an MTN voice bundle between 7 a.m. and 8 a.m. and get 3 free MTN to MTN minutes valid all day. Dial *100 *21 hash and get your free minutes bully daily. Free your fire with free minutes from MTN. Together, our connection is unstoppable. MTN.
Welcome back. You're still watching the UBC News Tonight, broadcasting live from Nile Avenue. We now take you into the world of business. St. Kizito Junior School Namugongo hosted a cultural gala aimed at promoting Uganda's rich cultural heritage while celebrating the country's diversity. The event brought together learners, parents, and the wider community to showcase various cultural traditions.
St. Kizito Junior School Namugongo hosted a cultural gala under the theme Celebrating Our Heritage, Embracing Our Diversity. The gala is intended to promote appreciation of Uganda's diverse cultures by giving learners an opportunity to experience and showcase both traditional and evolving cultural practices from different communities across the country.
We train the children how to make them. We have a timetable, not only that we teach academically, but we also create time for the children so that they learn hand skills.
According to the school administration, the cultural gala featured exhibitions and demonstrations highlighting various aspects of Uganda's cultural heritage. These included traditional harvesting methods, food preparation and cooking systems, cultural attire, music, poetry, traditional dances, indigenous games, crafts and income-generating activities that have sustained communities over the years.
We have organized Cultural Day to let our learners know our origin, the origin of we Ugandans, because most of our children who are in Kampala here have been born in Kampala and also raised from Kampala. They don't know how their people behave, the kinds of food they eat in their villages, or our grandparents, how they used to put on and eat. So that's why we were able to organize such a cultural day to make our learners appreciate and also learn and see.
Organizers say the gala is designed not only to entertain, but also to educate learners about the importance of preserving cultural values while embracing national unity and diversity.
When they see something like this, I think it's one of the best experience to them, because they are here to test different foods, to showcase their the different clothes, what they wear.
The cultural gala took place at St. Kizito Junior School, Namgongo, and featured colorful performances, exhibitions, and cultural displays from various regions of the country.
MTN Uganda has released its 2025 Sustainability Report, reaffirming its commitment to responsible business practices, transparency, and sustainability.
The report is the company's first to align with the International Financial Reporting Standards Sustainability Disclosure Standards, covering both general sustainability and climate-related disclosures. It was independently assured by Ernst & Young, enhancing the credibility of its environmental, social, and governance reporting.
Launched the MTN Uganda Sustainability Report 2025. Yes.
Speaking at the launch, MTN Uganda Board Chairman Charles Simbire said strong governance remains the foundation for sustainable growth and long-term value creation for shareholders, customers, and communities.
Today marks an important milestone in our sustainability journey and reflects our continued commitment to strong governance, transparency, and long-term value creation.
MTN Chief Executive Officer Sylvia Mulinge said sustainability is embedded in the company's Ambition 2030 strategy, aimed at expanding digital inclusion while addressing Uganda's social and environmental priorities.
What creates a true value that lasts is when organizations then move from just thinking about the financial results that we deliver, but and start instead thinking about the impact that we are creating in the societies that we're in. Because that is what gives you true license to be able to operate.
The Uganda Securities Exchange commended MTN for promoting transparency and responsible corporate reporting, saying such practices strengthen investor confidence and support sustainable economic growth.
This occasion represents much more than the publication of a report. It represents a continued commitment to transparency, accountability, and continuous improvement. It reflects an organization's willingness to provide stakeholders with meaningful insight.
The report says that MTN Uganda now connects 24.2 million subscribers, with its network achieving 88.8% 4G population coverage and over 27,000 kilometers of fiber infrastructure by the end of 2025.
The 2025 report. Youth in Chigorovia Sub-County Hoima District have welcomed a free vocational skills training program aimed at tackling unemployment and improving livelihoods. Let's take a look.
It will help me. So I will maybe search for any company through driving.
Grateful to be here, and I thank our Honorable Dr. Kasigwa Gerard for bringing this opportunity in our sub-county. I'm very grateful to be here, and I thank God, even me, I'm among of the students.
This training is going to change myself, and then I think that I'm going to get more knowledge about this training. And then again, I'm going to thank our Honorable Dr. Kasigwa Gerard
Your parents have bring you here. Be serious about what you have done to do here. So that's what I'm going to request our children, our girls, I'm guiding them.
Many of our young people do not have skills, and the only thing they can do is, grow crops. And you find many of them are predominantly growing tobacco. And the returns on tobacco have been reducing over time. But besides that, we know that land has been reducing. We have people who have 2 acres and they have 6 children. Now when those children grow and you subdivide 2 acres, that means each will get a third of an acre. So we want these people to get skills and go and be employed or employ themselves.
The second edition of the MedTech Uganda and Uganda Farm Expo has officially been announced ahead of its opening later this month. Let's hear the highlights.
MedTech and Uganda Farm Expo is here for the second time. I believe this is the second edition. And to me, I think this has now turned out to be your permanent home. Because the very first time, it really attracted quite a good number of participants. And this second time is just giving emphasis of the importance of this expo.
Now, once we go for the digital transformation in the health sector, what happened that you can, I'm telling you example, when you book the appointment with the doctor at 2:30, you go 2:30, but doctor will see you at 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock. So there is no point of having that appointment. What we use. But once we go for the digital transformation, something called HIMS, Hospital Information Management System, which all hospitals they are using, but they are using for basic need. We are talking here about that patient can do the doctor appointment over the digital things.
To have stakeholders in healthcare come together with new products, new technologies, new hospital management systems, new laboratory technologies, to come together and showcase what they have been cooking in the past recent or or even the immediate recent.
We realize that quality health care is not just about clinical expertise, but there's much more to that. I mean, for you to give this good quality care, at least you need to be able to have up-to-date diagnostics. Some people have talked about the mobile labs and all this latest technology. So all these form a very, very big part of the good quality healthcare delivery. So we take this very, very seriously. And we notice that latest technology is really, really very important in the provision of healthcare. So we find this expo a great opportunity for us to get to know about most of these latest technologies.
The event is free. The event is free. So it is an eye-opener, so people should come and see. And there will be live demonstrations too. And for live demonstrations for machines, you need patience.
And in sports, the Fortbet Real Star Monthly Award for July have rewarded 4 of the best athletes that outperformed others in various sports and disciplines.
Fresh from our stellar 2026 Commonwealth Games, where she won Uganda's first medal with a silver medal swim in the 100 meters breaststroke SB8, Husna Kukundako has been named the best from aquatics for the Real Star Monthly Sports Awards for July.
I'm super happy because I've worked really hard to get to this point, and yeah, I'm really honored to have represented my country at these games, and most of all, brought back a medal. And I'm very happy that I was able to make my country proud.
The award ceremony held at Nanjing Restaurant in Kampala also recognized the Gazelles, which is the women's basketball 3x3 team that became the first team sport and importantly on debut to win a medal at the Commonwealth Games with a silver, achieved after losing the final to Australia. The team was of Melissa Akulo, Perus Nyamwenge, Jamila Naskombi, and Jenna Sinde.
People won gold medals on the continent. People won silver medals outside the continent, even bronze medals. So it was so hard to come up with the winners, but we tried to look into the Commonwealth team. So we had some people who excelled. They brought us some silver for the first time ever in the sport of swimming. And that discipline had never brought us a medal. And of course, also basketball 3-on-3.
Also rewarded for tremendous performances last month were archer Precious Alan Asimwe and rally driver Hassan Alwi, while the Legendary Achievement Award went to former referee Kathleen Adipo.
It's good that at least people have started recognizing us, more so when we are still alive.
The Fortebet Trill Star Monthly Awards have since 2018 rewarded the best athletes that confess motivation from the idea.
It's really an honor to be recognized when we come back home. It makes us really excited and proud. It makes us have the motivation to keep going because we know that there are so many people back home who are supporting us.
What organizers do is select just a few sports disciplines and reward the best in those. But the good news is that almost all sports federations have had winners selected over the years.
Next month.
Brings us to the end of our UBC News Tonight, the 10 o'clock edition of the UBC News Tonight. But also do allow me to remind you that time is that valuable resource that you can never get back, so do use it wisely. My name is Wadulo Arnold Mark, and Mr. Senyomo is on sign language. Have yourselves a lovely night.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
In a nation hungry for truth, a world where every story matters, there exists a beacon of trust and reliability. For decades, they've been our voice and our window to the world, holding the mirror of our history. With 4 TV stations and 11 radio channels spanning 27 languages, they stand as guardians of information, defenders of truth. With Mascari Heritage Advantage, they uphold every citizen's right to reliable and free information. Their archived stories shaped our past and illuminate our present. Yet now, as new challenges arise and the world evolves, their mission faces its greatest test yet. Be part of our journey and let's navigate the unknown, uncover the untold, and safeguard our future together. Tune into your public broadcaster, for it is the intersection of trust and truth. Because to UBC, your story, every story, and every voice matters. UBC, inspiring Uganda.
The Uganda People's Defense Forces invites you to the 2nd edition of the UPDF-CDF Inter-Forces Drill Competition. Join us